We have a special guest. While that is going on quietly, I want to welcome Vito Raimondi. Vito did a couple of oral history sessions with us a couple years ago, and we just used an iPhone and captured his talk, about 2 or 3 hours of questions and answers about his life, his migration from the south of Italy, and his adventures as a barber, and his life story. Then we put that up on YouTube, and it generated a transcript. We sent that transcript off to a student, Mr. Cherishwara. And we got that text together, and along with, we asked Vito to bring pictures. So we created a book.
Yeah.
Okay. And here is a copy of the book that was just published on Amazon, and it was done by our Casa, Italia library staff, mainly by Jason Coleman, who is the tech on the Zoom part of this event. So I want you to listen a little bit to Vito to talk about his story and to talk about the writing of this book.
Well, you know, I've known Father Augusto Feccia for since 1966. As a matter of fact, the gentleman that said that was starting to be a priest at the Sacred Heart Seminary, we used to come and play soccer here every week. I was a member of the Italian Catholic Federation youth group, Group 98. We were the only youth group in the United States. And I worked a lot in the church to keep the kids, the Italian kids, off the street. We used to have dances once a month at Our Lady of Angels. And we made sure that it was just like in Italy. If you came to dance, you had to wear a suit. If you did not have a tie, you bought a tie at the door for 50 cents. We sold ties. We had drinks, but not alcoholic drinks, mixed like the, what is it called? Was a pop with whiskey, you know, semi. And we always been a barber. I dealt with people really of different color, religion. And I had the customers that were policemen. That were policemen. And we used to pay them $10. They were my customer because you know, you had the rowdy Italian kids, those who came to America. They were like this guy from Naples. And I remember this particular guy, Jack, that he used to come. He didn't want to pay. He didn't want to do this. So I told my customer, he was Tony, and I told him to hide behind the corner, and you know, I motioned to him, this is the guy that gives us a lot of trouble. Tony was about 6'4", and he started getting, so Tony, the policeman, come from, they put the stick between the legs. Lift him up a little bit. As soon as he said that, he bought the tie, he behaved like a kid. So again, this story came because I brought a lot of my music here at LP because I love music. At one time, I had over 5,000 LP, 45s, and CD. But most of it I had in the garage, so I brought them over here. And I give it, when Dominic heard me and Father Augusto talk about the old time at Our Lady of Angels, what we used to do with the kids, we used to have the Mother Day show. Mother Day show that us, the member, we became singers, dancers, whatever. I always was the comedian. I love to laugh. And
so his story captures the social life of the young immigrant. He came in 1965.
Yes. And, you know, my father had three brothers and one sister. And we didn't even know if they were going to pick us up from LaSalle Station with us. They turned out to be very bad people. We were with them for about 2 weeks.
Tell them about writing to Pavarotti.
Okay. Father Augusto was the one that, because I love music, and Father Augusto one day loaned me the first LP that Pavarotti record. And oh my gosh, when I hear who's this guy, what a voice. So one day he was signing autograph downtown in Rose record. And Father Augusto called me, you want to go downtown? I said, okay. And we went, and I met him just as a regular fan. I thought it was a bit the same thing. And the more I listen, I came up with this crazy idea because I am a little bit of, I do not follow rules. I do what I think is right for me. And, you know, my brother, my sister, everybody that knew me, you crazy, you stupid. But I've heard so many of those that I got used to it, you know, so it doesn't matter. I called the Opera House, I called the auditorium to get the address, but nobody wanted to give me. So I figured I'll write to him. How many people in Modena have the name Pavarotti and receive mail from all over the world? Well, he did get my letter, and he did answer me. The wife actually answered me. And, you know, we set up the appointment, which was at the Opera House. He had a concert. Then he did not come that day because there was a snowstorm all along the East Coast. Chicago was closed, you know, this and that. Now it was difficult. How am I going to get in touch with him? So I found this nice lady at the Opera House. Her name was Marina. And Marina Ricci. And I explained to her my situation. And she said, send me a letter and put your envelope with the letter in another envelope. First envelope, my name, Marina Ricci. The second envelope to Luciano. And she always did it. And the concert that was changed, instead of the Opera House, was in another place. I don't remember the name, but they were famous. Yeah, the Shriners was over there. So it was on a Friday. We used to live in Edison at the time. And it was 3:30, the show was at 8 o'clock, the concert. And I said, I got nothing to do. I better close. By the time I go home, I take a shower, you know, shave this and that. I was closing the door. I was locking the door. Now, usually, once I'm out, I don't answer the phone because people start begging, I need a haircut, I gotta go here, I gotta go there. I don't know why. I opened the door and I went inside. And who was on the phone? Pavarotti. My God. So he told me, if you're here before 6 o'clock, because 60 minutes was taken, I says, don't worry, I'll be there 6 o'clock. I go home and my wife says, what are you doing here so early? I said, Luciano, get out of here. I said, honest, what do you think? So we were there. It was just a little bit before 6 o'clock and he was vocalizing. And, you know, sometimes things happen just the way they. And he was telling, I was behind the curtain and he was telling the managers that the barber of Seville is coming. So I opened the curtain and I said, sono qua! And I started laughing. And you know, I cannot tell you how nice he was. It's like he knew us many years, you know, like we came from the same town. So after I saw that he was so nice, the first time I went because he was the singer, the voice. Now I wanted to go because he was a nice person. So one night he had, you know, a couple of years later, he had one of those charity events. I think they had an earthquake in Italy. And the tickets not only was very expensive, but you couldn't find it because they went all to the rich people. My son was in the hospital. He was 3 years old. And it was raining like cats and dogs, as they say. And I said to my wife, we got to go downtown. Oh, we don't have the ticket, you know, this and that. I said, I don't care, we're going. So in those days, all those shirts, you know, with the ruffle, the thing, I dressed really nice. I had in a black suit. We go down there. They knew me already, but there was a new policeman there. So the news Marina Vecchi says, we already know Vito, leave him alone. And he says, no, I gotta go tell the Mr. President. And I said to the policeman, don't go, because he's gonna tell me to leave, because I'm not a rich guy. I'm just a regular person, and he doesn't need regular person, he needs rich people. He went, the answer was, go home, Pavarotti doesn't need you. My wife says, well, you hear it. No, he's gonna tell me, because I am what they call meeting faccia tosta. You know, I'm not afraid. Sometimes I am. So in those days, when you walked into the, you know, where the artist went, there was a desk with the policeman, and on the desk he said, first in Italia, mostrare la carta d'identità, show your identity. The Italian language was king. Okay. Then there was few steps this way. There was the office of the public relation, door to go to the stage, then long corridor, and this stage door, this camerino, was at the end. And I'm there with my attaché case, you know, I knew I was not going to carry Zeb because it was almost 8 o'clock and he was still vocalizing, I could hear. As soon as he came out of the stage to go change, Luciano, I never called him maestro, I never called, always direct. Che fai qua? I don't know if you understand. What are you doing here? And I said, I came to serve the best, the number one group. Vieni. And I told him right away. Your manager told me, no, because when I went to Pavarotti, I always said ticket. I never asked for anything. So he called then the secretary, Madeleine René. Give Vito and his wife, no, he asked me, do you have the ticket? I said, no, my son at the hospital, you know, all that stuff. Called Madeleine and says, give Vito and the wife 2 tickets. She gave all the tickets away. She only had 1 left. He got mad, but he didn't use profanity. What am I going to do now? Tell Vito stay and the wife go home? So he called Mr. Edwin Newman, which was the head of the public relations. And he said, find 2 seats for my friends. Okay. So I left the attaché case, no haircut. Then we went through the basement in all the costumes, this and that. And we sat with really all the rich people. I would say about between 10 and 20 feet was the Senator Percy sitting. And you know, a famous phrase, my wife says, you should look at your face. And I said, what's wrong with my face? I said, it's glowing. And I said, look at us, we are just regular people, and this man is treating us. Now, when he asked me where I was from, I told him from Bar. I said, oh, orecchiette barese. And I said, do you like it? He says, yeah, but not from the stores. They gotta be homemade. So my mother, my grandmother used to always make orecchiette. And he was like a little kid. Okay. And when I told him what happened, you know, with the manager, that he told me to leave through the policeman. When he saw that I never asked for anything, I always said my tickets, this and that. I came just for the pleasure. And he told me, you come here all. The only thing I asked was talking with my customer, because when you came into my shop, it was Italy. Because they always talk to my customers, not just food, language, the history that I know, because I'm not a professor, it's what I've learned through my childhood. And even though everything that I have, I owe to America, which I call it my stepmother. But Italy, it's always. So what I would ask him was, I would send him a list of customers, the name of the customer and their wives. And he always brought me pictures like this one, always personalized to Dominic and his wife, always. And he used to tell me, don't tell everybody, because then I have to have a suitcase of pictures. he always did, you know, and he was, I don't know, a person, sometimes you read bad things about him. I remember once he had Ballo in Mascara, they couldn't find.
Well, we gotta go, but this is, that's fine. This is an example of the stories that we're saving these experiences, a really unusual thing with regard to Pavarotti, but maybe a more ordinary thing with the process of migration in the period after World War II. And there's a lot in the information
Can
in
I
there
say just
and in the photos as well.
a short story, because before one of the gentlemen, I
Very
forgot-
short.
Yeah, very short. One person was talking about that we are always looked upon as gangsters, mafia.
Yeah.
When I used to go to a lot of dinner dates, because like I said, I worked in the church, I was even vice president of the youth group at the Italian Cultural Center. Okay, the reason why I became vice president, because the president was elected the Dario Zamichelli. He knew he would never show up for the reunion, but he knew that Vito always shows up unless I'm sick or something. So I used to go to a lot of dinner dates. Now, if at the table where we were sitting, me and my wife were Italian, there was no problem. But if they were not Italian, they would look at you like, you know, he's a gangster. So one evening I came up on the spot with this story, which I've said it a million times. I would look at them, I would say, you know, I never killed anybody, but I'm thinking about it. So
God
I
bless,
gotta
that's
go.
great.
Oh, thank you.
Bye, Vito. Take care. Take care. All right. Much.